You ever walk away from a conversation and just wonder what the other person was really thinking? It's so frustrating, right? Well, what if I told you that understanding people isn't some kind of magic? It's a skill that you can actually learn. So today, we're going to break down how to reverse engineer the human mind, and I'm going to give you the tools to see what's really going on under the surface. Let's dive in. Oh man, we've all been there. Picture this. You're in a meeting, you're making your big point, and you see your boss just glance at their watch. Your stomach just drops. And what's the first thought that hits you? They're bored. I'm totally losing them. That jump right there, from a simple observation to a full-blown conclusion, that's the single biggest mistake we all make. And it's exactly what we're going to fix today. And that right there brings us to the single most important idea in this entire thing. Seriously, if you only remember one thing today, make it this: the huge difference between a signal and an interpretation. Because trust me, getting this right, it changes absolutely everything. So let's break that down. What's a signal? Okay, a signal is just pure observable data. It's what you can actually see or hear with zero story attached to it. It's the fact that your boss's eyes move to their watch. That's it. It's the tone of someone's voice, how fast they're talking, the physical act of a smile. It's just the raw information, what our senses are picking up. Now, an interpretation? Well, that's the story you tell yourself about the signal. He's bored. That's a story. That's an interpretation. She's nervous. He is lying. All interpretations. And see, this is the danger zone. This is where our own biases, our own anxieties, they just creep in and can lead us way off track. The key, the real secret, is to resist that urge to interpret right away. So let's just make this crystal clear. Your first job is not to be a mind reader. It's to be a data collector. Stop guessing what a signal means. Instead, just start consciously collecting more of them. Because that mental shift from guessing to collecting, that is the foundation for absolutely everything that follows. Okay, so if our job is to collect data, how do we actually do it? Like, what should we be looking for? Well, this is where your data collection toolkit comes into play. We're going to look at 3 different dimensions that you need to be paying attention to. All right, dimension 1 is probably the most obvious one: verbal content. We're talking about the actual words people are using. Really listen. Are they using absolute words like always or never? Are they spelling out their emotions for you, saying things like, I feel frustrated, or this is really exciting? The words they choose, that's a huge data point about what's going on inside. Okay, next up, dimension 2, nonverbal cues. This is all about their body language, their tone, their pace. It's not what they say, it's how they say it. And listen, the most important thing to look for here is change. A sudden drop in their tone, or they start talking way faster, a quick glance away. Those are the signals that an emotional shift is happening, like right in that moment. You're not looking at their normal behavior. You're looking for the moment that normal behavior changes. And this brings us to the 3rd dimension, and honestly, this might be the most important one of all: the context. See, the same exact signal, like a smile or crossed arms, can mean completely opposite things depending on the situation. So before you ever jump to an interpretation, you have to ask, what's the context? What's your relationship? Where are you? What's at stake in this conversation? Think about it. A laugh during a casual chat with a friend, that's joy. But that exact same laugh during a super tense negotiation, that could easily be anxiety. Okay, all this theory is great, right? But this is a practical skill. It's something you have to do. So let's turn all this knowledge into a super simple training plan you can start using today. And the best part? It'll only take you like 15 minutes a day. All right, here is your daily workout. Just 3 simple steps. First is daily observation. Sometime today, in 3 different conversations, I just want you to notice and mentally check off one moment where someone smiles, or their tone changes, or they just go silent. That's it. Don't analyze it, just notice it. Second, the power of silence. When someone finishes talking, just wait. Count to 2 in your head before you reply. It's going to feel a little weird at first, I promise, but you'll be blown away by how often they use that space to add the single most important detail. And third, mindful listening. Instead of jumping in to fix their problem, just repeat back what you heard. Something as simple as, so it sounds like you're feeling really frustrated by that. This one simple move makes them feel heard and makes sure you're actually on the same page. Now, as you start practicing this stuff, you're going to bump into all those common myths about reading people. The stuff you see on TV.
So to make sure you stay on the right track, let's just bust a few of those myths right now.
Okay, myth number 1. Reading body language is basically reading minds.
Yeah, no, the reality is much more practical. You're not trying to figure out a specific thought, like, oh, he's thinking about the sales figures from last quarter. It's not about that at all. You're identifying an emotional state, like, he seems pretty stressed. Or a general intention, like, okay, she's probably looking to wrap up this conversation. We're talking about emotion, not telepathy.
All right, myth number 2. A specific expression always means the same thing. Like crossed arms always means someone is being defensive.
Nope. The reality, as we've already talked about, is that context is king. Context determines everything. A smile can be pure, genuine joy when you're hanging out with a friend, but that same smile right before a huge presentation, that could totally be nervous tension. Without the context, the signal itself is basically meaningless.
And the last myth, myth number 3, is this really disempowering idea that, you have to be a genius to read people. Like it's some special gift only a few people have.
Let's be super clear about this. That is completely false. This is a learned skill. It's just like learning to play the piano or speak a new language. It's built piece by piece through precise, daily practice and just paying attention. I promise you, anyone can get better at this. Okay, so to put all of this into action, let's wrap things up with a super clear, measurable goal for your first week. This is what's going to take you from just listening to me talk to actually doing it. So what's that goal? 70%. For this first week, your mission is to correctly identify a change in someone's emotional state in about 70% of the conversations you're really paying attention to. So when you notice that shift in tone or that brief change in expression, just make a mental note. Later, ask yourself, was I right? Did their next words confirm that shift? Don't stress about being perfect. The goal is just to start tuning your antenna, aiming to be right about 7 out of 10 times. That's how you know you're on the right track. So there you have it. You now know the crucial difference between a signal and an interpretation. You've got the 3 dimensions for collecting data, and you've got a simple, daily plan to practice. The entire toolkit is right there for you. So the only real question left is, who will you choose to understand just a little bit better starting today?